Be strong.
Lahat ng gustong kumita ng pera, pwedeng tumayo sandali. Yung mas marami pang pera, itaas ang dalawang kamay.
Make some noise, make some noise.
Change starts with you and how to lead yourself so that you can lead others. That's what I'm going to talk about today. But before we do that, can you put your hand over your chest and say, abundance flows to me.
Abundance flows to me.
You believe in that?
Yes.
I want you to tell somebody beside you, abundance flows to you.
Abundance flows to you.
Before we actually start, I want you to kind of like till the soil of your heart and prepare you to be more conducive to receive the message. And so what I want you to do is to think about 3 things that you're grateful for. Tatlong bagay sa buhay niyo that you really are very thankful for. Just think about it. 1, 2, 3. Are you thankful?
Yes.
All right. What I want you to do is get a partner and just share 1 or 2 things that you're most grateful for in your life. What are they? Just thank God. Thank God. Everybody just sit down. How many of you want to go to the next level? Raise your hand. You want to go to the next level? You want to become better? You want to become stronger? You want to become wiser? You want to earn more? Mas malaki yung last question. You know, I kind of like, how many of you heard me speak before? Raise your hand. I want to see you raise your hands. So a number of people, I mean, physically, you heard me speak physically, like in a physical place. But how many of you online, of course, more people? I'm going to share with you 4 very important things so that you can move to the next level. And I pray that this will be useful for you. And the first one is this, to be focused on your why. Can everybody say that? I mean, the programs and the products that was given to you by the other speakers were amazing. You know, they're so amazing. My role is simpler. I just want to remind you of why you're doing what you're doing. It's got to be emotional. Can everybody say emotional?
Emotional.
Ask me why. I mean, Brother Bo, but hindi pwedeng logical na lang or rational. No, your why has to be emotional. Again, ask me why.
Why?
Because there will be tough days that will come. There will be days when you would not want to get out of your bed. You got me?
Yes.
There will be days when gusto mong matulog na lang. There will be days when you will be so discouraged. And you will say to yourself, ba't ba ako nagtatrabaho? Ba't kailangan gawin to? You've got to dig deep. And you've got to look for your emotional why. Can everybody say that?
Emotional why.
You've got to look for that emotional why. And you've got to understand that the moment you know that you've got your emotional why, that's the time when you become the script writer of your life. Put your hand over your chest and say, I'm a script writer.
I'm a script writer.
Sino dito mahilig sa K-drama? Taas ng kamay. Mrs. ko, sobrang K-drama fan. Pero alam mo yung misis ko, there are some K-dramas. Ito, I really laugh at this. You know, 16, kunyari 16 episodes usually. You know, after a while, mag-give up siya. Sabi ko, akala ko pinapanood mo yung ayoko na. Ayoko na tapusin. Bakit? Sinabi ng kaibigan ko, bad ending daw eh. So hindi na niya tinutuloy. You know, and she's frustrated that yung second lead, talagang hindi pala K-drama eh. Talagang ang second lead, hindi nakakipagtuloy sa first lead. And then I realized this. Sa K-drama, sa teleserye, we have no control. Yes or no?
Yes.
Because we're not the script writer. If it ends badly, it ends badly and you have no control. I've got good news for you. Ask me what again?
Why?
You are the script writer of your life. You really are. You want to have a happy ending.
Yes.
If you want to have a happy ending in your life, that you make a decision, you write it down. In fact, what you need to do is to understand that clarity is power. Everybody say that.
Clarity is power.
What does that mean? You know, many people do not know what they want. I mean, they kind of like have a vague idea, but they're not sure of what they want. And when you are not sure of what you want, there is no power. There was this one time I came from a prayer meeting. I was still single at that time. And we were talking about the book of Deuteronomy. And there's a verse there that says, God gives us a choice between blessing and curse. Blessing and curse. It's a choice. Everybody say choice.
Choice.
You know, that shocked me. I mean, I always thought that blessing and curse would fall from the sky. You know, nagkala ka sa sidewalk, tapos biglang may tatama sa ulo mo. Pa! Aray! Ano yun? Uy, blessing. Thank you, Lord. And then you walk again, and then something hits you again. Aray! Ano yun? Uy, curse. I always thought that blessing and curse falls from the sky. And there's this verse in Deuteronomy, I'll show it later on, that God says, you choose. What do you want? Kung ilalagay sa harapan ng Diyos, yung blessing and curse sa harapan mo, at sasabihin sa'yo, you choose. What will you choose? Blessing. And so that's what I did. I went home from that prayer meeting. I remember going home at 10 o'clock in the evening, went home, and I said, Lord, pipili pala ako. Ako pala dapat ang pumili. And so I got my pad paper and started writing down every blessing I wanted in my life and in my future. And I filled up 15 pages. I remember writing, I was still single at that time. I said, I want to be the greatest husband my wife can ever have. I'm gonna kiss her 7 times a day. I'm gonna bring her out on a romantic date once a week. I'm gonna be the greatest father my kids can ever have. You know, I just started writing and writing and writing down. I want you to know, I've been married for 24 years, and to this day, every single week I bring her out on a romantic date.
Wow.
Until now. And I'm telling you, I wrote down stuff like, but ang daming wow, parang bigay na hindi. I remember writing down, I'll be the, you know, I remember we had this beautiful date with my, you know, one of those weekly dates, and then in the middle of dessert, you know, I told her, sweetheart, are you happy? And she told me this. She said, love, you are a great husband. And we've been married for decades. And you know what? I said, I know. Because I wrote that down in that 15-page document called My Dreams, even before I met you. I wrote it down. I will be a great husband. You know, dreams have power. You know one of the other things I wrote? I wrote down, I will be a best-selling author. I wrote it down. And then I laughed. I will be a best-selling author. You know why I laughed? Because when I was in college, I attended a subject The subject is English 103. It was an essay writing subject. And every essay I gave to my professor, it came back to me with a big, bold, red letter F on top of it. Yeah, it did not mean fantastic. I was not a good writer. And yet there I was, writing down on that document, I will be a best-selling author. Today I've written 60 plus books. And I'm telling people, you know, there it is. The power of writing your dreams, of being clear with what you want. Last sharing, I wrote down that I want to build a ministry for the poor. It will be called Anuim, the Hebrew word which means the poor of the Lord. We'll get a big property, we'll pick up old people from the streets that have been abandoned by their families, and then we will house them, we will care for them, we will love them. And then I said, I'm going to live with them, and I want to have my own little nipa hut. I want my own little nipa hut with the poor. They can live in concrete houses, pero yung akin gusto ko nipa hut. Para, you know, that romantic sense. And then I said, I even wrote this down. I'm going to stand on the porch of my nipa hut, and if I look at the right, rice field. Look in front of me, fish pond. Look behind me, coconut tree. Why coconut tree? Ask me why.
Why?
Bagay, di ba? Nipa hut, coconut tree. It's not a painting. Kasi sinulat ko eh. You know? I want you to know, a few years later, all that happened. We were able to buy 5 hectares. We were able to build a few homes. We started picking up old people from the streets. Until this day, you know, 70 old people abandoned by their families are being cared in that place. And in the early years, I was living there every single day. And I remember that one fateful night, we were saying our evening prayers with all the residents, and we were tucking them into bed, and we were kissing their foreheads goodnight. When the guy in charge of building our homes came up to me and said, Brother Bo, your nipa hut is ready. Doon ka na matulog. Talaga, tapos na. And so I walked. It was about, I don't know what time was that, 9 in the evening. I walked to my nipa hut. I stood at the porch and I began to cry. I began to cry because when I looked at my right, 2 hectares of rice for our residents. In front of me, 1 hectare fish pond, tilapia. So we have free fish to eat. Behind me, coconut tree. And I said to myself, a few years ago, these were words on paper, but now they're reality. I'm telling you this. You and I underestimate the power that God has given us to make our dreams come true. Put your hands over your chest again and say, I'm the script writer of my life.
I'm the script writer of my life.
I want you to go home later on and I want you to start writing down your dreams. Make it clear. Make it real. Make it powerful. Believe that you can do it because God is with you. Do I hear a loud amen?
Amen.
So what is your big why? That's what you need. Martin Luther King said, if a man hasn't discovered something that he will die for, he isn't fit to live. You need to discover that. You need to go deep inside. I also wrote down on those 15 pages my financial dreams. And I said, you know, this is what's going to happen, you know, every year. This is how much I'm going to earn. This is how much I'm going to give. And I want you to know that I wrote that document many, many years ago. And every day I would pray for it. Every day I would read it. Every morning I would wake up, make it part of my prayer time. I would just read through those 15 pages every day. Today, I look back, I read it again, 95% of all that I've written has come true. My dear friends, it's your turn. Tell somebody beside you, you're the script writer. So you write it down. You make a decision. Number 2, be a take charge person. Can everybody say that? Take charge.
Take charge.
Put your hand over your chest and say, I'm a take charge person.
I'm a take charge person.
What does that mean? It means that you stop blaming other people for the problems in your life. You stop blaming. You know, Albert Ellis said the best years of your life are the ones in which you decide your problems are your own. Sabihin mo sa katabi mo, problema mo yun. You don't blame them on your mother, on the ecology, on the president. You realize that you control your own destiny. God has given that destiny into your hands. You know, you're driving your car. I'm a preacher, by the way. I'm a missionary. 43 years na po akong misyonaryo. For the first 18 years, I was very poor deliberately. Deliberately because I chose to be poor. I had a perverted theology of money, distorted. But at a certain point, I made a decision, no, I can use money to serve other people. And I discovered that money, the purpose of money, the ultimate purpose of money is to love others. And so I'm still a missionary even if I have more money now because of the businesses and the investments, etc. But I speak to you right now to tell you that you've got to make a decision that you are driving your car. What mo sabihin kay Lord? Because I hear this in prayer meetings. Lord, ikaw na ang driver ng buhay ko. The Lord will say, inappoint kita na maging driver. Ako ang may-ari ng kotse. I am the owner of the car. But I am asking you to be the driver. You drive. You make the decisions. Turn right, turn left, go straight, go back. It's your call. Take charge of the wheel. You decide where you want to go. I give you the provision. I give you the map. I give you the ways. I give you the direction. I even give you the gas. I supply all you need. But you take charge. Tell somebody beside you again, you've got to take charge. Tell somebody beside you, stop blaming your spouse. Tell somebody beside you, stop blaming the economy. There is something very important that you've got to know. You've got to focus on what you can't control. Sa buhay, dalawa po ang bahagi ng buhay. Dalawang larangan, dalawang dimension. Dalawa yan. Here, what you can control. What you can control. Dito, sa kapila, what you cannot control. Gets? Yes. Now, I want you to understand that between these two things, there's this big line. There's this big line. And may karatula, may sign in the line. And the sign says, no trespassing. You should only be here what you can control. Do not trespass to what you cannot control. What can you not control? The economy of the world. Can you control that? No. You know, the COVID pandemic, can you control that? No. Your spouse, can you control? Yes. Of course. But really, we cannot control our spouse. We cannot control our children. What can we do? We can influence, we can inspire, we can encourage, we can be a good example. But at a certain point, we're only until here. We cannot control. So if you cannot control, what should you do? Surrender to God. Surrender what you cannot control. The economy, you cannot control that. Surrender to God. The pandemic, you cannot control that. But what can you control? Your response to the pandemic. Your response to the economy. Create your own economy. Your inner economy is more important than that global economy out there. You can grow rich even if there is a bad economy. You can have a good economy. You decide that. How do you respond? What do you do every morning? What do you do when you have problems? You make those decisions. Deuteronomy 30 verse 1, I was telling you about this. I have now given you a choice between a blessing and a curse. When all these things have happened to you, you will remember the choice I gave you. Number 3, be an action hero. Everybody say, I'm an action hero. I'm an action hero. Ibig sabihin, you've got to have a bias for action. A bias for action. This guy, Rabindranath Tagore, says you cannot cross the sea by merely staring on the water. You cannot just say, okay, I'm going to think about it, I'm going to plan about it, and I'm going to analyze it, and I'm going to evaluate and then I'm going to think about it again. No, you gotta act. And sometimes when you act, you're gonna fail, and that's okay. It is better to try and fail and fail and fail because that's the only way to success. You got me? And number 4, you've got to be an inspiring leader. There are people here who lead teams. And I'm speaking to you. You've got to be inspiring. You've got to build a culture that's encouraging. And the only way to do that is that you've got to be the culture. Everybody say, be the culture.
Be the culture.
But friends, I'm speaking to everybody, not just unit managers. No. I'm speaking to everybody because you're a leader and you're leading your clients. You're leading your customers. And you've got to inspire. You've got to be an inspiring leader. I have a story I'd like to share with you. I got it from a friend of mine. He's the chairman of the board of one of the biggest banks here in the country. And then he was telling me, Brother Bo, I have a story I'd like to tell you about one of our bank managers, and you love it. And he said, what's the story? He said, you know how bank branches have certain quotas to reach, certain depositors, certain amounts of money that has to be deposited in a branch? And he said, yeah. Well, one day, her biggest depositor, 50 million pesos in her branch, visited the branch and said, sorry kailangan akong mag-withdraw ng pera ko. Ay, bakit po ma'am? Yung pamangkin ko, bagong branch manager dun sa kabilang bangko. Humingi ng tulong kay auntie. Pamilya Sorry Thank you. Pero kailangan ko na mag-withdraw. You know, the bank manager said, naku po, inside, yung aking pinakamalaking deposit ang mawawala. Bababa, yung quota and all. You know, she was just thinking all these thoughts, but she said, oh, we will miss you po, we will miss you, God bless you. So, umalis na. You know, the chairman of the board said, any other bank manager would say, wala nang aking biggest depositor. Ay, kawawa naman kami. Kawawa naman ako. Ganun lang. But not this bank manager. You know, the following day, she calls up the big depositor. Ma'am, gusto kong bumisita sa bahay niyo. Oh, bakit? Alis na ako wala naman magawa pamangkin ko yun Hindi po ma'am. I will not try to win you back. I just want to say thank you for the years that you've been with us. Tsaka magbibigay lang po ako ng konting regalo just to say thank you po. Sige. So, bumisita siya, yung bank manager. Bili ng 2 box ng ensaymada. Pumunta sa bahay. Ma'am, ensaymada, a little token of our love. Ang bait niyo po na depositor. Ma'am, I'm not winning you back. I just want to say, salamat. You trusted us. Thank you so much for being our depositor. Ayun, umuwi na siya. Ganun lang. Alam mo, 2 weeks later, bumabalik yung depositor sa branch. Nag-depositor, 30 million pesos lang naman. Bakit? Tanong sa akin, bakit? The power of ensaymada. The power of care, of love, of friendship. Ang tingin ng bank manager sa depositor, hindi lang kliyente, hindi lang numero. Gets you know? And that's what a leader is. A leader cares. And when the client knows that you care for that person will feel it, will experience it, and that's what you need in order to go up to the next level. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. My dear friends, I'd like to close this talk with a story from my life. You know, when I look at you, I think you need this story. My last story for you. When I was a new father, alam mo yung eldest ko ngayon, 20 na. Hindi ko maisip, paano nangyari yun? 22 ka na. Ang bilis naman. Ganun mga nanay at tatay, Identify? You can? Oh my gosh. But when he was a baby, I had no money. I was a missionary. And I was telling myself, gusto ko mag-start a business. You know? And I said, paano ako magiging entrepreneur? Hindi ako marunong magbenta. And to become an entrepreneur, you should know how to sell. I did not know. So this is what I did. I joined a sales company. And I said, I'm gonna learn how to sell. And then at the back of my mind, I said, madali ito. Preacher eh. 18 years na, 20 years na ako nagsasalita. Pwede ba? Magaling ako dyan. Ay, nako, bulok. You know, I could not have been farther from the truth. OMG. I was being rejected left and right. 9 times out of 10, I was being rejected. Ang sakit. Sobra. You know, it was so exhausting. There was this one night, I remember. I arrived home 12 midnight. Why? Because I traveled to a place, met with prospects, did not sell a single thing, zero, bokya, went home, na traffic pa, pag uwi ko 12 midnight, napagod ako. Yung sa sobrang pagod, parang isa lang iniisip ko. Tama na? Quit na? Pwede ba? You know, I just wanted to quit. Tapos nagbihis, pasok sa bahay, nagbihis. I was lying down in bed. I was staring at the ceiling. From the corner of my eye, I saw my baby. His chest heaving up and down. I saw my wife beside him. And then I realized, anong quit? Wala ka naman choice eh. Magugutom mo. Wala naman choice. And then a thought came to my mind. You know what thought came to my mind? You want to know? It was like a nuclear bomb in my brain. It was like, whoa! I said to myself, what if I accept pain as a normal part of life? Na wala naman choice for a painless life. You know, there's no such thing, di ba? Tama ba ako? Whether you are, you know, people are saying, ay, basta pag malapit ka kay Lord, wala kang pain, wala kang problema. Hello? Namatay na si Jesus sa krus. Ano ka ba? There is no such thing. Whether you are close to God or you are not close to God, whether you pray or you do not pray, there's going to be pain. You only have 2 choices in life. Ask me what? A life of pain with God. B, a life of pain without God. Yun lang ang dalawang choice mo. Walang letter C, a life without pain. Gets you yun? While you are living on planet Earth, there will be pain. So it's your choice. And so I told myself, what if I just accept it as a normal part of life? What if I accepted rejection? What if I just embrace pain, embrace rejection? And if I welcome rejection and even look for it, look for the rejection. Because it's the only path to success. Ano tingin mo ito eh? Narinig mo na ito eh. More rejection, more sales. You know, if you get rejected 9 times, you know, you get more and one day, I had to remove this whole thing that rejection means loser. No, rejection means stronger. And you know what happened? Ask me what happened.
What happened?
The moment I became comfortable with pain, I became unstoppable. Unstoppable. I woke up the next day and started selling like crazy, got more rejections and got wiser, got better. And in the next, I remember earning my first million. And at a time when, you know, 20 years ago when a million was a million. And I want you to know, that this is a decision you've got to make in your heart. The only way to become unstoppable is whenever there's pain, you shrug it off. Bahagi ng buhay. And nothing can stop you. Did you hear me? Yeah. Nothing can stop you. No discouragement. No discouragement. No trial. No storm. No problem in your life can stop you. That's somebody beside you. Nothing can stop you. If you make a decision to become forward with pain, each one of your great dreams require massive amounts of pain. Do you want to have a great family? Yes. You want to have a great marriage? Yes. You want to be healthy? Yes. It will require massive amounts of pain. Do you want to raise up good kids? Yes. Parents, you're going to go through a lot of pain to have great kids. That's the price you pay. Do you want to have a great career? Yes. That's it. Go through lots of pain. But look at it from a different perspective. That these are not stumbling blocks. These are stepping stones. And change starts with me. Put your hand over your chest and say, change starts with me. Change starts with me. My dear friends, I want you to believe and to trust that if you do your part, and if you drive this car, God will supply whatever you need in order to reach the destination that you want to go to. I want you to believe that you are already blessed. We started this talk. I'm wrapping it up right now, and then I'm going to move into a prayer. But I just want you to know that we started this message by asking you, what are you grateful for? And when you think about how grateful you are and all the blessings in your life, you realize you're already blessed. You really are. Yes? Yes. Can you all stand up? I just want to speak to you one more time. And I really want to tell you how you are already blessed. Sino dito may problema? Taas ng kamay.
Tingnan ang problema. Tingnan may problema.
Maraming problema pati kapapaan. But I've got an insight I want you to think about. I believe that no matter how many problems you have, and I don't care how big your problems are, you know what I believe? I still believe that that's only 10% of your life. I believe that 90% of your life are blessings. The problem is that we don't see it. Why? Because we're so mesmerized and so focused with our problem. That's all you see, the problem. You know, this is a problem. The problem is here, right here. And every day, the moment you wake up, ay, problema ko, ay, nako, problema ko. And all you think about is your problem. You meditate on it, you think about it, you analyze it. That's all you think about. You think your life is filled with problems. I want you to take one step backward and look at your whole life. And start being grateful for every blessing that you have. And here's what you're going to realize. That you have a God that supplies your every need. And that there are times when He allows a trial, but only so that that trial becomes something that will make you stronger. And that trial will make you better. And that trial will bring you to the next level. Yes?
Yes.
And so, this is what I need you to do. I want you to believe in that. So I'm going to lead you into prayer. And I'm going to ask you to, if you could symbolize your openness for blessings with two hands that's facing upwards, ready to catch blessing. And then just say this after me. Father, I receive today all supply, all resource, wisdom, strength, guidance, contacts, inspiration, encouragement, everything that I need to fulfill the dreams
to fulfill the dreams
that are in my heart.
in my heart.
And I thank you
And I thank you.
that I receive them right now.
I accept them right now.
Prosper the work of my hands.
Prosper the works of my hands.
And through me,
And through me,
you will prosper my clients.
prosper my clients.
I want you to say a prayer for every person that you have talked to and every person that you will talk to. I want you just to pray for them. Say a prayer for them. Love them. Care for them. They're not just a customer. They're not just a number in your list. They're not just a prospect. They're a person. And I want you to care for them by praying for them. And I want you to pray that God bless them abundantly. And I want you to pray that their future will be blessed. And that their finances, through your help, their finances will be in order. That instead of spending and splurging and living like a king and today, but living as a pauper tomorrow, a beggar tomorrow, through your help, they will become wiser and they will prosper through you. In Jesus' name. Amen. Everybody,
Amen.
just give God a big hand. Are you happy to be here?
Yes.
I'm happy to be here. AIA, thank you so much for inviting me. What a joy to be able to meet all of you today. Really a great blessing. And I want you to put your hand over your chest again and say, I'm unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
Are you sure you are?
Yes.
I want you to look for 7 people here in this room that need to hear that message and tell that person, you're unstoppable. 7 people.